here in South Florida that's approved and in compliance with the National Real Estate Investors Association. My name is Alexa, Operations Manager here at the BPM RIA office, and we have an awesome webinar today for you guys. We're going to get into the proven techniques to get better pricing with sellers and buyers. We have Anish Dave teaching our webinar today. He is the BPM RIA CEO and lead mentor. His voice is feeling a little raspy today. He was at the IMN conference in Miami this week. So we have Harry here to come in and give us some support because Anish's voice is a little scraggly today. So thank you guys for being here. We're gonna do a raffle today. Somebody in here is going to win 1-year membership to BPM RIA. That is a value of $295. So if you're interested in entering the raffle, all you have to do is text the word membership to this number, 954-800-6961. So go and look at the chat box. I just popped that in there for you guys. Good luck. I hope you guys win so you guys can get all of the benefits and get connected with the right people and have those discounts too. So good luck. Upcoming events, you guys, we have so many great events posted to our website right now. So go to the website, bpmria.com, and start registering for all of these. Get them on your calendars right now. Link is in the chat. We have Get Fundable coming back, how to recession-proof your business and your credit. So excited for that one. Hope to see you guys all there. We have our monthly meeting coming right around the corner. Everyone, Residential Assisted Living Academy is coming to teach you how to turn a single family home into a monthly $5,000 to $15,000 cash flow with residential assisted living. So excited, super hype for Isabel to come teach you guys, and that'll be in just a couple weeks. So look out for that and register right now. DPI Fund, Diversified Passive Income Fund, coming back to tell us how we can explore the benefits of investing in a real estate hedge fund in the current market conditions. So see you guys there. Lots of great events this June. Here we go. Coming to Broward, to right around the corner from a lot of you guys. Come out. We're going to get into 20 ways to invest in real estate. So if you're looking to meet us, meet with Anish, learn from him for this day, Saturday, June 17th, 10 to 12, please go register right now. It's on the website. Broward, you guys, right around the corner from a lot of you. So hope to see you guys there to learn those 20 ways to invest in real estate. And then RIA Facts, we're going to get all into driving for dollars with the one and only Francisco Mago, owner and creator of RIA Facts. Super awesome. I think this is going to be great for absolutely anyone and everyone. So looking forward to seeing you guys there as well. A great way to keep up with the events is via text. If you're interested in text updates for our events, go ahead and text the word BPM REIA, all one word, no spaces, to our number 954-800-6961. This is just an event and a raffle phone number. Don't call this number. There is no one there to answer your call. You guys will all have the number for the office. You can find it on Google as well. So go ahead and do that if you're interested in registering for our events via text. Text to the phone number, not to the chat, just saying, 954-800-6961. Awesome. Quick Start Bootcamp dates are up. Our next Quick Start is August 5th, August 6th. It is all day Saturday, all day Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. via Zoom. It is live. It is interactive. Cameras are on, microphones are on. We're going to get into wholesaling, flipping, and rehabbing. We're going to have 4 incredible guest speakers there for you guys. I will go ahead and pop the link in the chat so you can go ahead and look at all the topics that we get into, the speakers that we're having, and go register right now and save your spot. As you see on the screen here, we have member pricing and non-member pricing. So whoever wins our raffle today, you're going to get member pricing if you are available for this workshop. This is live. We're not recording. We're going into it all together. Very nice, smaller room, virtual room, if you ask me. And then thank you guys for answering this poll. I appreciate it. This poll just popped up asking you guys if you're interested in the boot camp that we have, and it really helps me understand who is needing more attention and more information. So thank you guys so much for responding to the poll. That's super awesome. And go in the chat box so you can get the link for the quick start and go register. Alrighty, members, you guys know you're gonna get in free for this upcoming networking event that I just posted to the website. So go ahead, log in, make sure you're utilizing your membership to the biggest capacity possible. You get the entire discount package to the National RIA benefits, including Home Depot, Avis, Budget, all these amazing vendors. So members, you guys know you can log in the portal, get those free tickets for the networking, unlock all those benefits. You're also going to get the discount to the quick start. So please use these benefits. If you have any questions, I actually did a webinar not too long ago breaking down all of the benefits that our members get. So thank you guys again for responding to the poll. It's super helpful. Thank you. A lot of you guys already have a membership, which makes me really happy. And if you have any questions on your membership, let's address that, because I want you guys to use all of these benefits and save as much money as possible. So awesome. Mentoring and coaching at BPM RIA. Last but very not least, many of you know that we do have a completely one-on-one coaching program at BPM RIA. We do put up 100% of the money for our students' deals and split the profit 50-50. If you go to the website right now, I'll pop the link in the chat for you guys. You can go book a discovery call. The discovery call will block some time off for you. It'll block some time off for me so that we can talk about it, answer some questions, and I can give you the complete breakdown of everything we include in the program. We include everything our students need to start doing deals right now. So go book your discovery calls. I do have some time available, I think tomorrow afternoon. I do have some meetings in the morning. So go book your discovery calls tomorrow, next week, so we can get some questions answered. I can get you the information you're looking for. And also, most importantly, schedule this 1 hour free consultation with a mentor so you guys can get into the nitty-gritty questions. This is my phone number here. So if you want to call me and book your free consultation later after the webinar, I'll be more than happy to do that and get you guys the brochure as well. So thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for always listening to my introductions. Thank you guys for being here today. Always want to take a moment to thank National RIA, thank our corporate members, and especially our mentors that we have on here for taking the time out. We really appreciate your time. We all know that time is the most valuable thing ever. So we really appreciate your time, and we're excited to learn today. And you guys, somebody's going to be winning a membership today, which is awesome. So couple housekeeping, put your questions in the Q&A box. You'll see a Q&A box in your Zoom menu down below usually. So put your questions in there so we don't miss any of them. Anish and Harry might be asking you things throughout the webinar, so go ahead and pop those responses in the chat. You can chat with them in the chat and put the Q&A in the Q&A.
The Q&A and the Q&A and the Q&A.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alexa, and welcome, guys. In case you don't know who I am, where in the heck have you guys been? You're gonna have to bear with me. I do have a little bit of a sore throat. I've been screaming watching the Florida Panthers win last night, yelling at the TV. Hopefully the Heat will win tonight. So I am out of gas. And from what I heard, I was gone and Harry Diamond threw it down. So I don't even know if I should even do any more webinars, because I think he's got his own little fan club. And because of that, that's why I had to bring Mr. Diamond back on board for today's webinar too. So my name is Anish, CEO of BPM RIA. In case you guys don't know who I am, I've been a real estate investor for 20 plus years. And today we're talking about negotiating with buyers, sellers, spouses, all the above, right? So what I can tell you, when I negotiate at home, I get killed. My wife actually crushes me when it comes to negotiating. But when we're negotiating with buyers and sellers, it's a whole different world. Harry, do you want to, in case they don't know who you are, you want to talk about who you are, Mr. Diamond?
I'm just like you guys. I started out in real estate not knowing anything, just following the leader, and here we are today, helping others do the same thing we did. Very simple, very easy, and not looking back, always looking forward.
Yeah, exactly, right? So give me one quick second here because there is some technical issues. See if I got that back on. Right, you see my screen? There you go.
Perfect. Nice.
All right. Yeah, it's my first day at Zoom, right? You would think. So,
Looks good.
right. So how many of you guys think that negotiating or being a good negotiator would help you out? Go ahead and put in the chat. Yeah, buddy. Right. I want to make sure you're still alive. Right. If you learn how to do that, it's going to make a big difference. So go ahead and put in the chat so that I know that you're living. Yep. I got a couple of those. And so one of the things that we always talk about, what you always want to try to get the price from the seller or buyer first. Why do you think we want to do that, Harry? What's the benefit on that? Because I know when I first started, I would just throw a price out and say, hey, this is it.
Well, I love selling my properties before I buy them. This way you can guarantee that you know what your spread's going to be and less risk, less exposure.
Yeah, and so one of the things is when you talk to a seller and the idea is you really want to push them to ask them the price because their price might be way off. And it's usually in a way, I hate to say it now, right? It's probably a Zestimate. So my super Zillow fans, right? How'd you get that price? Oh, it's a Zestimate. But we've also had times where, you know, hey, Harry, I'm not taking anything less than 200,000. Really? Okay, great. I was going to offer you 220. Right? You want to basically
let them speak first. Always
Yep.
let them speak first. We had one with another student, Julio, who the guy wanted 700,000 for the property, and then he talked himself out of that number. We ended up giving him 300. But
yeah. So what you're doing when you're negotiating, right, and you're dealing with the buyer and seller, you're going to anchor it. So when they give you a price or you give a price, you want to anchor it. So, hey, you're going to start out and I can tell you for a fact, it's always easier to go up on price than down, right? So if you offer 400 and then you say, oh, you know what, maybe I'll take, my bad. I meant to 350. And that changes quickly on that portion where you really want to know what the price of what they're at. And that's the same thing with buyer or seller. So when you're selling properties, what about that when, Harry, I know when you're wholesaling, obviously we send it out on our list at a price. And I know what we do, right? Depending on which hat you have, right? As a seller, we're gonna change it on the terms. And what I mean by that is, how many times we had houses, right? It's a 3-2 with an illegal garage converted. And we're working with the seller. What are we saying? Like, oh my gosh, I know you think it's a 4-2, but can't do it. It's illegal. So it's gonna go against us. When we're selling it on our wholesale list, this beautiful 4-2 rents for this. So I think that's always important when it comes to that, where you're actually battling when you're negotiating. So the first one that gives a price is always at a disadvantage. The other end of it, you can't be at a stalemate, right? If the seller says, well, you're the investor, you got to give a price. Right. So at one point, otherwise you're just gonna be staring at each other. So I always come up with a low price. Right. So that's number one. That's super important for us. Number two, right? Ask for more than you expect to get. So when you're negotiating, right, you might throw in closing costs, right? If you're selling, hey, you can pick up our closing costs. You can, if you're doing retail, you're asking for furniture sometimes. You just throw whatever you could get out there. Right? Maybe it's time, maybe it's this. So what are some of the things, Harry, that you've gotten in the past that you were surprised that they gave to you?
As far as price?
Price or anything on negotiations when you're talking to a seller. And then, or as a buyer, as we're selling it to somebody.
Yeah, we were always taught, listen to what the homeowner or the seller wants, because it's not always number based. And when we offer a number, we're not just picking a number out of the clear blue sky and lowballing them. We're coming at them with legitimate reductions, because those things should be changed or need to be changed when we buy the property. Now, when we sell the property, I try to let the buyer name his price. So I got spoiled by a couple of our buyers, and they went to the property, looked it over, and says, "Oh, I love this. I can offer you this." And I was like, "Great, I'll take it." First time that happened to me, he offered me 50,000 more than I thought I was going to sell it for. And I said, "Oh, I like this game." And unfortunately, there's not too many people that do that. But with Anish's help and other mentors, we and the market, certainly the market down here in South Florida, enables us to push the boundaries without going too crazy. But it's a team effort, and the money is appreciated.
Yeah, and so like some of the things that we've gotten in the past, right? We've asked for, like, the easiest is closing cost when we're selling, right? Hey, can you pick up the closing cost? We've also asked, we're doing a deal right now that we're closing on where there was a violation, and it's about $14,000 or $15,000. So we asked them, like, we were fine with it, right? We're buying the house, it's on a room in it, but we asked the seller to pick up the liens, the $15,000, because they own it free and clear. So of course they didn't agree fully, but they said, "Okay, I'll pay half." So that was about $8,000 we made just for asking. So do not be afraid to ask, right? The worst, they're going to say no. Or
Many of those.
Yeah. Or I could do this. So those are the things that you want to constantly always ask for more on anything. Whether, at a restaurant, can I get this? Do you mind? Again, you're negotiating with your spouse. I know Victoria is a master negotiator, right? She always asks for more.
That's all my money. Oh, sorry. I don't have any money.
Exactly. Right. So that's one of the things that you always have to. So don't, even though you're happy with the price, you're happy with the terms, you still want to ask for more on that portion. And you'll be surprised how often people say yes. I think people always just run into being scared about that to ask. Oh, I don't want to hurt the feelings.
It's one of the things Anish said in the very beginning years ago, when we're buying, I'll give me 2 minutes to be right there. I'll say that and I have to go for a few minutes. But when we're buying, push everything onto the seller side. Let them pay for everything, so we pay no additional costs. And then when we're reselling it, when we push everything over to the buyer side, that's the ultimate. That keeps the most money in our pocket, and we start there. And everything else is negotiations back and forth. So the seller could be the bank, and obviously most of the times in short sales they are the bank. So the bank will give us a lot more than we expect. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You ask what happens, what comes. Give me a few minutes, I'll be right back.
Yep, no problem. Yeah, and just to add to that, right? So what I'm going to add is also tonality, right? So people like working with nice people. If you demand, I have to get more than this, it's not going to get you anywhere, right? I know it sounds very basic, but being very sweet to people will make a difference on that portion. The other thing that we always say, never say yes to the first offer. Right? So when you're actually selling, and I'm going to use when you're selling a property. Hey, Nish, will you take $300,000? Be like, oh my gosh, I do the whole thing. Are you kidding me? Like $300,000. Oh, you just start flinching. Like this is way too low. I can't do it. You know, how can I survive on that portion? Even though on the inside, I'm thinking 300,000 is great. I'm making this amount of money. So let them think about it. Right. And you're also using, hopefully you have a multiple offer situation. On our wholesale list, you'll see when we get offers and we have multiple people battling. Hey, Anish, would you take, I know you put out for 300, will you take 285? Right? Nope, not doing it. Even though it might be the only offer out there. I'm going to let it ride, right? The time. What happens is, and that's one of the other ways that they call it the time lapse, but you want to make sure that you have a number in mind, that you want to keep it and just flinch, because what happens is on the other side, they're panicking, right? They're just like, oh my God, I really want this. I really want this. I really want that, seat at the restaurant. I really, and so how many of you guys, are going to put in the chat if your first time, you're so excited that you say yes the first time on an offer, on anything. Hey, I'll take it. Done, right? Yep, Carolina, yep, always. So you're leaving a lot of money on the table. So especially in real estate, it's just one of those things that you're gonna, you make a couple of those mistakes, and before you know it, you drop in 3,000 or 4,000 times 5,000. Patricia, Bijal, of course. Bijal's a master negotiator, so I'm not buying into that at all. Russell, absolutely. I know you're actually out in the field, so it makes a big difference on when you say yes, even though you want to say yes. So automatically, I flinch. I'm like, no way. Ouch. How can you do that? I sometimes even act like I'm insulted. I'm like, holy crap. Like, how dare you, Alexa, offer me only this? Don't you know my house is so pretty over here, even though it's not pretty, right? So those are things that you want to make sure. And so the other one that I love is to walk away power and time lapse. And what I mean by that is you make an offer, right? Or someone makes an offer on your house for 300,000 and you say no, you're literally walking away. And when I say walking away, if you're in person, on the phone, and you just let time go by. So how many of you guys got put in the chat that you make an offer and you're on a house or anything, and you're just like waiting, like, why are they not getting back to me? Right? Did I offer too low? So you want them to think about it. And again, especially on a wholesale list, you have multiple properties, they make an offer, let the day go by. I will many times let a full day go by, and now they're texting me. They're saying, oh my gosh, what is going on? I really need, I want that house. Why aren't they responding to me? And what happens on the other side of that is that as the buyer on the other, they'll talk themselves of the price, right? Instead of 300, what happens if I go to 305, 306, or 310? So you're willing to wait for people, and that's what it's called, time lapse. Or you're willing to walk away on the price. Hey, take this, or I'm moving as a buyer. My best offer is 285, and that's it. And then they're trying to get back to you and say, hey, Nish, I know you said 285, can you do 295? So it's going to make a big difference on that portion. So you definitely want to, have the power. The challenge is if you play too hard, you might lose the deal. So you need that balance of, hey, do I want to push real hard or I don't? If your spread is big, right, and you're talking about $1,000, $2,000, sometimes I'll let them win because I want to make it a win-win for them. Like they feel good about it on that portion. So you want to have that power, but again, if that's the only deal you have on your as a seller, you just want to be careful because you may lose that deal. You want to, how many guys are real estate agents? Put in the chat if you're a real estate agent. So one of the things I like is getting the agent on your side. So if you're an agent and you're working with your seller and buyer and working with the other agent, you want to pitch one, versus the other house. Do it all the time, right? So, yep, Andrew, you're an agent, so you know how that works on the negotiations. You're the middleman, right? You got the seller wants one thing, I got to deal with the buyer's agent wants another thing, and then the buyer. So one of those things that I love on the walk away is just time. Just take a deep breath and let it slide. What I know is when an agent or on the other side, the buyer or seller, when they get back to me right away, I can feel how excited they are to get the property. I know it can push. So it is a definite, thing that works. The other thing is people believe what they see in writing. How many of you guys make verbal offers? Put in the chat on properties. If you, and I can tell you years ago, that's what I did. Hey, my client, or I am going to offer you X. So the key is when it comes to offers, people believe something in writing. Always write up the offer. I don't care how low it is, right? I tell, agents or people that want to buy, put it in writing. It's powerful when you're an agent showing it to your seller. People trust things in writing versus, hey, I'm just going to offer you $300,000. But what's the terms? So you should always put in writing. Even if they come back and say, you're dealing with a seller, they want $300,000, you want to offer 220, 230, put it into writing. Don't just offer it. Hey, let me just write this up. If you're dealing directly with the seller on that end of it. So it's going to make a big difference. Oops, turn this thing off. Sorry about that, guys. And it just makes a big difference. How many of you guys actually put stuff in writing? How many offers do you guys make? Put in the chat. How many offers a day or a week do you guys make in writing? Yeah, so I actually put it on a contract, Israel. I know you're asking this, write a contract. I actually put it a contract, not an email, not a letter of intent. Again, we're talking about residential properties. Homeowners understand contracts. LOI for most homeowners won't understand it, or an email. I get offers all the time in an email. I just don't take it serious. Right. And so when we say writing, what else are you going to put in the offer, in the contract? Go ahead and put a chat. What else would you put in the contract? What additional items, ideally? Right? Yeah, your contract's gonna have terms, right? What else? Yeah, it's gonna have the closing date, deadlines. Yep, minus inspection. Yep, Violet. What I like doing also is proof of funds. How many of you guys think proof of funds is important? Right? Violet, you're not serious. Oh, wait, here's a proof of funds with True Blue Properties with money in it. Right. The other thing that you want to do if you have it as an LLC, I always like a solid offer. I like actually the corporate papers with it too. It just shows that you're organized. That's the difference for many sellers, right? Of course, your contract. Yeah, Francisco, it's going to have the purchase price, the terms on that portion. What you'll be surprised, I've gotten deals because we always say, hey, we're gonna close fast. And they're like, whoa, Nish, I don't want to close so fast. I want to take 60 days, right? Or what will happen is, hey, can we change this? Can I stay in the property for 15 more days? I need the money. Can we do a post agreement, post occupancy? So these things, and that's the difference versus a verbal offer. I just don't take it serious. Most investors, same thing, even on the properties that we sell. Hey, Nish, I'll offer you 300,000, 400, whatever. put it in writing. If you're too lazy to put it in writing, you're going to lose out on deals, right? So that it's unbelievably important, and make sure it's organized. Don't piecemeal it, right? If you have proof of funds and you're paying cash, put your proof of funds in there. Bank statements, if you have hard money, whatever that case is, put your LLC papers. Super organized. You want to make it easy, especially if you're dealing with homeowners. Do not make it complicated. One of the things I like doing, it's called nibbling, right? Getting more after you agree on the deal. What do you think that means? Go ahead and put in the chat. What do you think nibbling means? It's kind of in there. What the heck does that mean? I'm just going to nibble on some food, right? So nibbling, one of the things I love doing, hey, we agreed on a price. Hey, by the way, can you throw that in? I always get that, and I joke about it. And remember, I know these techniques. So when you do it to me, I know what you're doing. Hey, Nish, I'm joining your mentoring program. Can you throw an extra month in there for me? I'm going away out there. And now, I'm already like, okay, fine. The worst that's going to happen is no, right? We see this, if you have kids, I see this all the time. Hey, I'm going to go to my friend's house. I'm going to, John's house. I'll be back in a while. Hey, mom, dad, can I get an extra $20? Go ahead and put in the chat how many of you guys that have kids and fall for that. I know my wife, it's amazing all the time. And it's always like when I'm on the run and I'm on a rush. Hey, can you, I know you're running to the store on that stuff, or you're doing this. Do you have any cash on you? Like, what? I'm rushing. Like, I don't know. I think I have $50 or $100. What do you need? And guess what she says? I need it all. So she constantly nibbles. So in real estate, it's super powerful. Where maybe, hey, can you throw in some of that furniture? What are you going to do with that? So you can nibble things after writing. You're just going to add it on as an addendum. I know we agreed on that price. Are you okay with, can you pick up some of my closing costs too? Can I leave, property, can I leave stuff there all the time? So you want to make sure that, and it never hurts. And again, pay attention in your life where people nibble all the time, right? Spouses, boyfriend, girlfriends, especially with kids. I constantly always see my friends, and they're always like grabbing one extra thing. Hey, I'm going to the game. Could I also get a hat? Fine. Go ahead, get a hat if you want. Sure. Can I, I'm at the store, I'm getting an outfit, but can I also get a belt? So pick up, and it's super powerful. So if you're doing 10, 20, 30 deals, these little things add up before you know it. And so it's powerful because in the mindset, the homeowner already think they got a deal. It's done. So again, you just constantly asking for a couple little things there. Here's my favorite, right? Never offer to split the difference. What do I mean by that? What do you guys think I mean when I say split the difference? Right? The seller wants 200,000. I'm offering 190,000. How about we split the difference? We go not 195. There's no need to actually split the difference. So I might just go up to 192 or get them to go 192, right? I'm the seller at 200. They want 190, so now they come up to 192. Hey, Anish, I'll take 192. Nope. 194. So on the seller side, I might tell them after I got them up to 194, 194, and maybe I'll say I'll split the difference then, right? So now they're at 197.5. But if I would split the difference from the beginning, it's 195. Splitting the difference is just being lazy on that end of it. So don't automatically, because it's easy on a win-win. You want to anchor them. So how many of you guys always split the difference? Put in the chat. How many of you guys always split the difference? Just so it's easy. Right? Go ahead and put in the chat. William, you don't split the difference? Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I know I used to. And again, you're basically anchoring the people. It makes a big difference. And on properties, I think it's one of the most powerful ways to squeeze extra money. So automatically just go up on the price a little bit. So if you're the buyer at 190 and Lexus the seller at 200, just go at like, you know what? I'll go up to 192. Yeah, Russell, right? Split the difference just on my side, a little on my side. I agree with you. That's exactly what you want to do when it comes to it. The other thing I like to do, always ask for a trade-off. What do we mean by for a trade-off? I'll give you this, or I'll do this, but then I need this. So one of the things I use, hey, listen, Russell, I'll give you more time to close, but then I need a better price. Always, right? And the great thing about the trade-off, that's how you battle someone that nibbles. What do we mean by that, right? They're asking for something. Okay, fine. You want the more time? We're gonna trade on price. We're gonna trade on closing cost. Anything that you need. So always ask for something. So listen, I know you're going to join our mentoring program in a month. Well, then, I need you to commit today. And you'll see what a difference it makes all the time. And it'll stop people. And sometimes they'll say, you know what? I don't need the extra time, actually. You're right. It's going to cost me more on closing costs. I don't need that. So these things are always important, right? Yep, Bijal, I agree with you. My price, your terms. Bijal's an attorney, so I definitely would not want to be negotiating with her, even though she's a family friend. As sweet as she is, watch out. I know her very well. How are you back? So what was the trade-off? Would you just negotiate? That's what we're talking about. Always ask for a trade-off. Hey, I'll get off on this webinar for a little bit, but did you ask for a trade-off from Victoria?
Yeah, for her to have all the money, she lets me pick out where the trees are going to be planted. We joke, obviously, guys, but
it's not a joke.
Couldn't do this without her. And Bijal, if we can get both, that's when we are really happy. If you get both price and terms.
Yep, exactly. And so one of the things really in negotiations, you're not trying to crush the other person. You really want to make them to feel good. Let them win on that portion. So that's the real art, is to get everything that you want and to think it's their idea. I know Victoria's fantastic at it. My wife Eliana's fantastic at it. For 11 years, I never knew, it was never my idea. It was done, so you really want to make sure, because there's nothing worse than you're negotiating and you feel terrible about it. Like, what a jerk that Harry is. He beat me down. So I think it's, it's always important asking for that trade-off. And again, that stops the nibbling.
I view it, everyone has to win, and I don't want to keep finding new buyers. Yeah. I like when the buyers are steady, and the next deal I have, I can approach them because they'll give me a fair price.
Absolutely, right? The other one that I like also, the good guy, bad guy. How many of you guys do that, right? I'd love to sell you this house, but my partner he just won't go for it. I can't do it at that price, Harry. My partner, Alexa, says no way. Right? How many times have we used that on pricing?
I said my partner, Grace. Grace is our dog.
Yeah. Yeah, and so like what I want to use also is, like, even if you don't really have a partner, have a partner. Right? It could be a financial partner. It could be, a contractor partner. It doesn't matter.
Well, years ago, I'm sorry for interrupting. Years ago, one of the things we learned in business is that if you're the boss, your word is final.
Yeah.
So this gives you the opportunity to not have the final word and still remain the boss of your business. So
Yep.
always buy that extra time by using that technique.
Yep.
It is intrinsically valuable, very valuable.
Yeah, I mean, we've made so much money just by doing the good guy, bad guy, especially on the buying or selling, or if you're making an offer with a homeowner, right? Or you're dealing with an agent. I would really like to, Harry, I'd love to get you this house, but my partner has another buyer. I've really, Harry, you've been great. Let me see if I can push it. Right. So then I'll use the techniques of the time lapse. Let me get back to you. Right. So I'm literally, I'm not talking to any partners at all. I'm just letting time go by. Now Harry's calling me. He's like, hey, did you talk to him? And I'm just not, I don't know. Then I'll use the nibbling, right? I know you offer this. Can you pick up my closing costs too? Maybe I could convince my partner. Right. So now as we're going to these different techniques, it's cool when you start meshing them together on that portion. Same thing if you're working with the agents, right? A seller, if you're doing a true realtor to realtor dealing with them, you want to get the realtor on your side. Meaning my buyer really wants to buy this place, but man, they're just so difficult. His wife, her husband, on that portion. Again, you always want a partner. I love when the homeowner, and like you said, Harry, they're the final person. I know that they can't use someone else or another excuse. I got them pinned down. My favorite always is when the agent is the seller, right? I can't tell you how many times I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna crush them. And I'll give you the perfect example. Back in the boom years ago, obviously, I'm talking like 2006, 2007. One of the people were battling each other for houses. The house was like 1.2 million, and the agent was the actual seller, or this as her husband, and they were using that money because they were building something in Minnesota. So in their mind, guess what? They're going to save the 3% commission. My mind, I used everything I could against them. So on the $1.2 million instead, the $36,000 commission, I actually got it on a competitive market. I got it down for $950,000. And guess what? I nibbled, and they threw all the sound system, all this other stuff in for about 40 grand into the deal. Because I knew that why they were selling the house. She told me everything. I used the good guy, bad guy, like, listen, we've been looking at 3 houses. I really think your house is the perfect one for them. They just don't know it. What better can you do? Right. So that leads me to my next one. You'll have to do better than that. Whenever you make an offer, right? Or someone makes an offer to you, you'll have to do better than that. Just add it. Or the other one I use, is that the best you could do? Hey, Harry, $300,000 is, what you're offering. You have to do better than that. Is that no? And then here's the key. You just got to shut up. That's the easiest way I could say it. Hey, can you do better than that? Just zip it and just pause. How many times, Harry, has that happened that, they'll say, zip it. No, then they'll come back, right? Like, what about that last deal? Hopefully they're not on this call. On your last deal at 440, right? Yeah. They came back at a price. And we were gonna take it. What was the price? I forgot. It was like
originally we started like 280.
Yeah.
And ended up closing at 310.
320, actually.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
We have to talk.
Yeah. Wasn't it 320 or 310? I don't know, whatever.
I think it was 320. Yeah, in the long way.
So on this deal, right? We were happy with 285. And I got them up to 305. And we listed it for 320. So I was actually fine, right? We talked about this, like, man, we got you the extra 305 or whatever that number is, 310. And guess what I did? I just waited in general. And I said, and I asked, can you do better than that? And we were ready to take the offer. About what, I don't know, 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, guess what? We got a 320 offer. We literally made an extra $10,000 by saying, can you do better than that? Is that the best you could do? They were so worried about losing the deal. They paid an extra amount of money. So I'm hoping if you're on this call, I snookered you. So my bad.
$1,000 a minute. $1,000 a minute. That's a good
Yeah. So like whenever you're doing on your offering on anything, ask them that, right? Can you do better than that? And that's why it makes,
you're not bullying anyone. You're
Yeah.
just, by simple phrase, you're letting their minds run wild, and because they know they know something what we don't know. They know
Yeah.
what room they have to play. And they're
Yeah.
trying to get it for the lowest price, which I don't blame them. But when you say, can you do better than that? We're not asking for anything more, but their mind is rambling and they already have a max high number.
Yep. I mean, I do this for everything, like including, I'm checking in at a hotel.
Except your wife.
Except my wife. Yeah. She's numb to it. So she's like, she uses all these other techniques on me. I need higher authority, but she is the higher authority. So, but it's funny because when I checked in, I was traveling, and that's the same thing. I don't say, can you do better than that? Is there anything better? Can I get an upgrade? Well, let me see. Yeah, sometimes there is. Sometimes there's not. So you should be doing that everywhere you go on that portion, right?
Never hurts to ask.
Like we do that on even negotiating. I mean, I don't do it too hard on our handymen because they're fair pricing and it's just fair pricing. But if it's third party vendors on something else, I'll ask, can you do better than that? I know you're quoting me $600 or $1,000. Can you do better than that? Well, Nish, I can't do it for any less than $800. Like, okay. Right. So that makes a big difference. My favorite one, using higher authority. So all the married guys, the higher authority I use, I'd love to do this, but my wife won't let me. I'd love to go out, and or obviously on housing. I'd love to do this, but my partner, my boss, he's the money guy. Harry's the money guy. He won't let me spend more than $300,000 on his house. Is that the best you could do? Right? That's what I would follow up with. So again, you're using multiple negotiating techniques. You could use the higher authority as well as the good guy, bad guy. Right? Harry's the bad guy in this deal. I'd love to offer you this, but he is the money guy. And if it was my money, right, I would do this. What's the best you could do? Pause, right? Ask them for their price first. If you ask them again, we started with, if you could get the price from them. Anish, I won't take, or you make your first offer, right? With this, some of these are like one of my favorite ones. They wanted about 400,000. Hey, what's the price about? 400,000, right? And I offered a really low price. I offered like 300. And they're like, oh my God. And like, that's, oh my God. Anish, 300,000, that's a disgrace. I won't take anything less than 360. Okay. Right. They just went down $40,000. Right. I might try to split the price with them, but I'm not going to split it. Right. So again, you're going to want to use multiple techniques on everything, right? So it's not just with housing, right? Not with just buyers and sellers on that portion. Start doing it in your life. So higher authority is a big.
Not with your wife.
Yeah.
Women already do with their husbands, so we're not teaching them anything new.
Yeah, you can tell, right? Like, I mean, yeah, all the women on this, they're like, yeah, we already know this on that portion. So
the difference is we're well trained. So we realized that women already, our wives planned this 3 years before they even met us. They know what's going on. And we just gave up. We don't have a shot.
Yeah, yeah. And so the other thing is that, you know, when you use higher authority and you use time lapse, it's powerful on that portion. Again, even if you're doing, you're by yourself and you're doing deals, create that imaginary partner. So one of my friends, I just, without, Indian people in general are pretty good with their money, right? So if you ever, we were joking about this yesterday, was if you ever negotiate with Indian people, we love negotiating. It's in our DNA. Everywhere, we're always looking for a bargain. We never want to pay full price. One of the things that I was laughing, my friend Michael, he actually sells mattresses to like Holiday Inns and hotels. I think it's hysterical. So whenever he sees an Indian name, right, up a towel on that portion, he automatically increases the price 20%, so they could talk him down to his price because we want to negotiate. So I think it's always funny on that portion, and sometimes and it's like, I think it's just kind of fun anyway. I guess it's a little challenging on that, but you again, these little things will be the difference of you going from making $100,000. You do a few deals, it might be another 5, 10, 15, 20. These are skills that our mentors, our students, it's going to really increase your bottom line. You work very hard on these deals. So the other thing is you want to congratulate the other side after the deal. It is unbelievably important for them to feel good. There is nothing worse than you're in a full negotiation and you feel terrible. Like, oh, what that pain in the blah, blah, blah. Especially on the wholesale side, right? Like Harry, we go back and forth. I know you sell to a lot of the same buyers, so do I, right? We're negotiating all the way through. And then, you want to work with them again. So it is very important that it's a feel good for both of you guys on that portion, right? What about like, even on, and sometimes I'm not always such a hard ass, like how many times we've done deals because it's just easier with them. It's not about the money. We gave, I don't want to say gave in, we took a little bit less on purpose because there's no drama. Versus, we had that one deal that obviously we wind up taking their money. They didn't close. But how many calls were we making to each other? I was like, I mean, I guess the extra $10,000 that we took because they didn't close on time was worth it. But are they closing? Are they not closing? They're not answering our call. They're not answering the title company's call.
These are a challenge actually for the people on this webinar here. I have a challenge for the people who employ this technique and actually make $5,000 or $10,000 more than you thought you were going to make. You get to take Anish and I out to the Lobster Bar on Las Olas, and you're paying.
Yeah,
that's the challenge.
Yeah, that's the challenge, right? So, I'm going to laugh because I know some of you guys are going to join the mentoring program, and if I see you guys nibbling, I'm like, oh yeah, they're using that technique on me. I'll just wait it out. I'll do the time lapse on you. I'd say my partner, Alexa, won't let me do this, right? As sweet as Alexa is, don't let her fool you. Anish, you can't do this. There's no chance on that portion. So these are important things, right? These are just the mainstays of what happens on negotiating on deals. What are some of the other things, Harry, that you've done on negotiating, why they took your deal versus someone else's, like over the years? Is it, I mean, I know like one can be, paying for the probate.
I'm paying for probate, solving their problems. Relationship building is really the key to our success. And because we've heard so many people tell us there was something telling us to work with you, something in your voice, something, or we've even had people say, I was praying to God the night before, and then you show up, and I say, I can't tell you God sent me, but who knows? So people, when you build a relationship, they like people who they work with people who they like.
Yeah.
And if you solve their problems, if you truly help them, there's tremendous benefits all the
Yep.
way around, and then the money just comes in.
Well, the problem solving goes right into the negotiating,
Yeah,
right? You're negotiating their problem. It's really what it is, right? You're figuring out what it
Yeah.
is. And my favorite is how they talk themselves into it. Like you say a couple things, and before you know what, that's fine. I'd rather I did have another offer. That's my favorite. I did have another offer, but I know this is less, but I'd rather work with you. Because you're negotiating, right? Maybe it's time, right? Maybe it's the probate. So how many times the heirs, right? They didn't have any money. And you picked up the probate. Right? You're using, hey, if I do this, will you do this? If I pick up the probate costs, will you sell me the house at this price? Right.
I have one right now where I think it's going to come back to us, because I did the takeaway and I told them, I said, someone made you that offer, take it. I can't offer you that. That's a great deal. But it requires them to negotiate a short sale with the bank, get the insurance money, fix the house up to get that spread. And let it go. About a month ago, 2 days ago, I got a call from them. They reiterated the situation, and they are going to be actually calling me after this call. They're going to, after this webinar, they're going to be talking about hiring me to help them. And they're out of state. They're not coming down here. We just find creative solutions, and where they could make 200 grand. And I told them, I said, you're not making 200 grand if you're going to work with me. I'll be fair. And but it's helping people understand the numbers and the situation. And it's just another part of the negotiations. So you realize you're negotiating all the way through. If you look at your own life, if you're married or you're dating, you're negotiating.
Yep.
Always win if you're a guy, but you're negotiating.
Yeah, and so I think what happens, right? So especially newbies, I see this happen all the time. You always think you're just negotiating price, and there's a lot more than that, right? So if I give you their price, then it's going to be my terms. That's how you get into creative financing. It could be seller financing, subject to, or you're using that, and then they come back, and you know what? That's too complicated. I don't want to do seller finance. What was your cash offer again, Harry? What was this, right? So you want to be able to, you're constantly negotiating. And again, you want them to win. There's nothing worse than you feel like you're losing on every negotiating battle. They're going to not want to do the deal with you in general. I see that happens. I can't tell you how many times that, I'll just say it, like on the investor side, they're just being a hard ass. Fine, I'm not doing it, even though it could be the best thing for them. How many times people are just stubborn, right? So
I was calling those somebody that lost the deal because of something like that happening.
yeah, so you want to be able to always negotiate terms. You want to listen, use that in there. So like what out of like the techniques, I know you were gone for a little bit, which one's your favorite one? Do you have a favorite one? Good guy, bad guy, higher authority, better than that, trade-off, anything that you use more often in general on negotiating, if there's other offers out there, right? Obviously not a short sale and you're dealing with the bank. If you're dealing with another investor, or on the side where you're selling the property, you have multiple people trying to buy your property. Which one do you use more often than not? Do you have a favorite?
For everyone in the chat?
I'm asking you, Harry.
You're asking me.
Yeah. Yeah, you can put in the chat. Which one is your favorite? I'm kind of always curious to see what everyone likes.
It's funny. I don't look at it that way. It's part of just the relationship that I build. It's all intertwined over a series of conversations, but I guess the overall best at closing, especially when we're reselling, because there's not much of a relationship there as opposed to when we're buying. But that is, is that the best you can do?
Yeah.
Or what else can you do? Just that simple phrase, simple, easy, let them fester. You're not saying that you have other offers, because if you don't, please don't say that, because
Yeah.
they may
Yeah,
let it go.
Yeah, so that's a really good point, because that's what you have to make sure. Oh, I have these other offers, and if you don't, if you push too hard, right on the neck, you could easily lose that person. Now, what are you doing, right? Oh, like you're scrambling to get that guy back on, and they're gonna know you're full of it.
And their offer is going to be reduced.
Yep. I liked one of like back in the old days, pre-COVID. I remember negotiating, and they said, "Oh, I had to go meet the seller at their attorney's office to negotiate there." I love that. They think they got home court advantage. Well, guess what? They're not leaving. Right? You're in there. If you're sitting in their conference room, where are they going? Right? If versus I could get up and leave. So in their eyes, they think it's, oh yeah, it's an advantage when it's really not on that portion, right? They really want to get the deal. So it makes a big difference. Yeah, Israel higher authority. I like that one too. I use that all the time. The partner, higher authority or good guy, bad guy. Those make, I mean, the amount of money it makes, and watch, and like the nibbling is still my favorite, like to see where that happens all the time. Look in your life where you see people are always asking for one more thing. Anytime you, again, in negotiate, if you give up something, you have to ask for something. Right? I'll pick up the closing cost, but then you have to go up on price, or I need more time, or the terms, the rate, whatever it is. Because it's going to make it stops the nibbling. Otherwise, if you let someone nibble and ask things, they're going to ask one time, like maybe before the closing. They'll ask the day, oh, can you pick up that survey cost? I wasn't really picking that, and they just want to get it done. They will constantly ask one more thing. So I think that's pretty cool when it comes to it. I see that some people, I know Bijou uses a combination on that, and as I said, the best is especially within your family to watch it with kids, how well they do it on that portion. Hey, can I get or like as I said, I pick on my wife all the time, but she's like, hey, can I get that purse? And be some outlandish price of a purse, and what she's doing, and she's anchoring me right for something cheaper on that portion. So
Is that also called blackmail? Oh, no, just with the kids, it's blackmail.
It's like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's amazing. So you always ask for the most, and then you work it down, right? Then the gap makes it feel like, okay, instead of giving this, I'll do this. That's fine. Same thing on pricing, right? Like ask for the low, start out with that low number. Oh my God. Or when they're asking like, oh my God, what it 400,000? No way, Harry. Like, are you kidding me? It's almost insulting. So it, as I said, these little techniques, you work so hard to find deals. You want to be able to negotiate. And again, it's not always price, terms. You have to listen to these guys too. Not sure if I have any questions hopping in there. Also, go ahead and put in the chat if you have some, or I'm sorry, in the Q&A, if you have any questions on that portion. So yeah, I think for me, the most powerful thing in negotiation is being present. That's the other thing, where you're actually in the conversation, if that makes sense. Like it's you and I really talking. I'm back and forth on text. It's okay. I just don't know tone. Right. So sometimes, you could tell on people's tone if they're desperate on that portion. So I like actually picking up the phone or face to face versus email or text. I think sometimes, we get a little bit lazy on that portion. And I know you're a people person, so is Victoria. I can't tell you how many deals I got picking up the phone versus all the automation stuff out there.
Emailing and texting are probably the worst things for negotiations, because everybody on this call, I know that you've been in the situation in the past where something was written and the person on the other side took offense at it, and that's not what you meant it to say, but that's how they read it. So
Yep.
Do not do that. Best of deals face to face. Yep, that's right. Face to face and over the phone, because you get to see and hear their reactions. And if they're uncomfortable or fidgety, we come from old school before computers
Yeah.
really invented.
But let's talk about, what I'm going to talk about, because I know you and Victoria do well. I know some of the things that you guys do, because if it's a husband and wife, right? I know for a fact Victoria will go talk to the wife. Right. You want to kind of talk about
the decisions.
Yeah, but I'm just saying is like when it comes to like gender, I know you guys use that as a negotiation. That was Victoria.
Absolutely. The story is men don't understand women, women don't understand men. So that kind of division helps. It really does. It's like, men were supposed to solve problems.
Yep.
Women want to tell us their problems, but they don't want us to solve them. That's personal experience for your whole life. But with negotiations in real estate, that kind of man on man, woman on woman kind of approach makes a big difference.
Yeah, I know the other thing that you do, I do also, is background and relatedness. And what I mean by that is I'll walk into a house, right? And it's a Latin couple, Spanish, and I speak Spanish, my wife being Colombian. So they always think it's funny or hysterical that an Indian guy speaks Spanish. Right? So it basically drops off like that wall, and it's easier to negotiate on that portion with people you like. Think about in your life where you're negotiating, and if you like the other person, it feels good, right? It really, there's really an art to that, right? And I hate to use like the car dealerships, but you already walk in there knowing like, I'm not going to get a good deal, right? Like that's how you feel. They're going to take my money. As an investor, right? And as a cash buyer, a lot of times is if you don't do the work to relate with them, they're going to feel like you're that, that car salesman. I'm going to offer, it's going to be automatically a lowball offer. I know how many deals that we've gotten over the years that it really had nothing to do with price. It was fixing the problem. The negotiation was, hey, we're picking up the probate, the postponement for sale, right? Violet, you're right. We use inspection reports, the actual physical report saying from a third party that this house needs 50,000, 80,000. You want to use everything you have. Proof of funds, right? I have a bank statement that shows I could really close on it. So that makes a big difference. These are important, like it's part of your tool belt, right? So in real estate, you want to analyze the property. We need to figure out the contracts. But at the end of the day, you have to negotiate, right? And a lot of times, and I kind of joke about this as investors or newbie investors, how many times have you negotiated with yourself, meaning it's not a good deal? I can't get this property. I don't have the skills, or it's too much. So you got to be careful not to, we do it all the time, especially newbies.
I just did it, and it led to being #1 profit margin of all of them, because I was going to walk away from that. Yeah,
$265,000 or $64,000.
Tax-free.
Tax-free wholesale deal, right?
Looking at that building, and I was going to walk away. I said, well, the guy only lives 8 blocks away. Let me just go talk to him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been one of the biggest mistakes I ever made.
Yeah, it would have been, right? And so the other thing that happens also on negotiating is time, right? It's not the right time to be in real estate investing. It's not the right time for me to join the coaching program. It's not the right time for, it's hurricane season. Whatever you want to do, right, is we're constantly negotiating with ourselves on whether it's a good time to be in real estate or to be self-employed. And once you start really realizing what you do, you're the roadblock. You're constantly negotiating, and then you're just going to have other people in your life to remind you why it's a bad time for X.
And 20 years goes by.
10 years, 20 years, a lifetime goes by. So our, like, you know, like we started with negotiating with homeowners, right? But I'm talking about negotiating with yourself to really be in projects. The idea is, especially when you're talking to homeowners or you're actually doing this in general, to have the intention of really negotiating. Like, okay, I'm going to use the takeaway. I'm going to use the time lapse. I'm going to let, you know, I'm doing it intentionally. I am warning you guys, if you try that any of that stuff on me, I know what you're doing. I'll do the takeaway. Like, you're going to nibble at me. Hey, Nish, can you throw in that membership too? Well,
If you were single, some of the people would be able to.
so that's, I mean, that's what I think in general. What do you guys think? You know, put in the chat. What is your biggest challenge in negotiating? Like, what's something that really drives you? Like, you're afraid to negotiate. Some people just don't want to be the bad guy. I want to make it easy, right? How many of you guys put in the chat? Yeah, buddy, that I just want it to be easy. Negotiating means we're fighting, right? So again, Francisco, yeah, being the bad guy sucks. I agree with you. Make your partner be the bad guy, your imaginary partner, my financial partner, right? The financial partner is always the bad guy. He couldn't make it. My partner couldn't make it to the property. He wanted to offer you this versus, what I want to offer. I would, I'd gladly give you more money for this. So we just got too many. The other thing you could also do is on negotiating is pitching a bunch of properties. Listen, I only have enough money to buy 2 properties. Harry, I'd love to buy yours, but I'm also looking at 123 Main Street. Can you do better than that? I know you want 300,000. Can you do better than that? Then
123 Main Street just burnt down 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. So like I pitch that all the time. Right. The other thing that you should be doing, if you're using REIFax, using closed sales that are low numbers, you're going to negotiate, right? You're going to say, hey, this is what I'm using. Distressed properties, right? We've been talking about what's happening in our Miami-Dade in the last 6 months, I think. We went from 12,000 pre-foreclosures to 13,000. So when you're talking to a regular homeowner on a deal, you're going to negotiate your price using these other things. So I think that's always very important when it comes to it. So I think I'm done negotiating with you, Harry.
Well, one of the things I've learned, and you've helped me over the years, is that I thought I was going to get a certain price for a property, and he says, let me work on this. Not only did he get a higher amount to cover a partnership fee or something, but he actually got me more money than I thought I was going to make. So
yeah, how many people like more money?
Partner.
Yeah, when you put in the chat, if you like more money, give me a yeah, buddy, right? I mean, like, it sounds so funny, but like that negotiating, I'm thinking even in the last few deals, right? You probably made an extra 10, 20, 30,000 bucks on letting me negotiate for you versus being the principal. So that's the other thing, is that we do have that partnership program here at BPM. We could get you more money. We have a lot of buyers, put me to the test. Nish, you said you can negotiate. Let's see. Absolutely too. So
I'm turning the tables on him. I'm paying him less and less and less each time. Not all the time.
That's true. That's true. But I want you to win, right? I congratulate you. I want you to win too. So it's the same thing.
Yes, you do. Congratulations. Now that I know your techniques, so watch out. I'm looking at you.
Absolutely. So I know we're almost out of time, and I think somebody won something, Alexa, right? Somebody got paid. Someone got paid to be here.
Oh yeah. So I have a winner for the 1-year membership to BPM RIA. Congratulations, Mark C. Ooh, ooh.
Mark C. All right. You got paid to listen to us negotiate.
Let's go.
Awesome. Yep.
Happy to have you.
Yeah, we have, what events do we have coming up?
So we have a ton of free webinars coming up. We have our monthly meeting in 2 weeks. And then that following week, you have a workshop in Broward, 20 ways to invest in real estate.
Absolutely. So as we're filling up, so you guys know on the quick start, we are filling up seats. So you're going to want to go ahead and join and take action. That's part of, being negotiating with yourself, is letting yourself win. And that's why I think it's always important when you're doing this too. So I know that Harry, I want to, as usual, thank you for the Harry Diamond Show. Maybe I'll do more Ask Harry. Just have you on the spot and do some more webinars, because I did get a lot of great feedback too. They're like, Harry's pretty funny. Harry knows more stuff than you do. And I'm like, yes, he does.
Maybe we could set up a contract or something, or it can be.
You're going to negotiate.
Put that in writing.
Yeah, put it in writing.
Oh my
We
gosh.
can negotiate the price.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Well,
he's gonna negotiate a price on me to be on.
well, guys, I have to negotiate with everybody in here. If you go give us a 5-star review on Google and tell us your thoughts on the webinar today or Harry's webinar on Tuesday, go watch the replay on our YouTube channel. The replay for this webinar will also be posted by tomorrow night. So go subscribe, please write us a 5-star Google review. I will give you 1 month added to your membership. Send me a screenshot.
See, there's the negotiation, right?
If you don't have a membership, I'll give you a 1 month free trial. So 5 stars only. Tell us what you think about today's webinar and Harry's webinar. Go check it out on YouTube, go subscribe. And I'll do that for you guys today.
And the in-person meeting is in August. So what a perfect free entrance to that. The brownies are killer. They're really good.
Israel, at the quick start, it's a Zoom live meeting with cameras on. So it is actually, it will feel like a classroom, but you'll be at home hanging out, and we keep it small on purpose because it's fun on that portion. But you notice like exactly what Alexa did, right? Which technique did she just use? The takeaway? Or if you do this, I
kind of nibbled a little bit.
Yeah, exactly, right? So there you go, right? Now you can see like when you give us a 5-star Google review, you'll get a 1 month added on to your membership or a 1 month trial membership. So that's exactly negotiating at its best. So
absolutely.
Thank you guys very much. And I hope you guys have a nice day. I hope the Miami Heat win tonight. And we could be celebrating here down in South Florida, beat those Celtics on that portion.
Let's go Heat. Let's go South Florida teams. I'm so
absolutely.
hyped.
And I want to thank Harry and Alexa, even though my little sore throat, for making it through today's webinar too. So awesome.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
See you next week. Bye.